So, today is day 3 of week 5. It's another chest, back, and shoulders day. This is the last, I guess this would be like the last like major compound movement day, and then we'll be getting into the back half of the week where things are a little bit more isolation, lighter weight, slower movements, stuff like that. But I want to talk about a little something, because on my previous video, I think we were talking about being at 208. We hit 208 pounds yesterday, but see, the day before that I was 210, right? So I dropped like 2 pounds very rapidly within a day. So, and I think I had mentioned it in the previous video that we were probably going to expect a spike, which that's exactly what happened, because we woke up at 211. Now, I wanted to talk about that because this is something that not only would break me, it does it to a lot of other people too, because they get all excited. They're like, man, I'm dropping weight so fast, this is great. And they wake up one day and they look at the scale and go, dude, what the fuck? And it can be a very discouraging thing. So let me talk a little bit about what it's doing, what's happening, and it'll kind of make sense. And it's a little bit later in the day, by the way, so it's a little bit darker, so it's more of a kind of a just listen to me, not really see me kind of thing. So what is happening is that this is a normal thing. It's just a spike or an influx. Your body weight is not going to stay the same every day. You can eat the same exact food, do the same exact activity, get the same amount of steps, drink the same amount of water, and it's still going to spike. Why? There are a lot of things that can cause your body to do this, and it is completely normal. It's completely fine. This is the one thing that completely would ruin my program, because a year or two ago I went on a cut, and I dropped I think I dropped about 15 pounds, kind of like what we're doing right now. And every time my body would spike, it would make me freak out. I felt like, okay, well, I'm not doing enough. Obviously, if my body's not wanting to drop weight and it's able to gain weight, I'm not able to, I'm not pushing it hard enough. And I'd drop the calories lower, I'd up the amount of activity, and then it would just keep going up and up and up until the weekend would come, and then everything would flush out. So that is just not what you need to be doing. The last thing you need to be doing is putting yourself through even more torture after torturing yourself enough already. So what's happening is, it could be due to water intake. For me, like yesterday, I had a little bit more water yesterday than I usually would. My food didn't really change. If anything, it actually, I ate a little less yesterday. My appetite, like I said in the last video, my appetite has just not been very high for whatever reason. And like I said in the previous video, I think it's just because my body's consuming energy from itself and not from food at this point. So, and that, that could be a reason, but we go from 208 to 211. You go, well, that can't just be water. That's 3 pounds overnight. And another thing it can be is inflammation. Inflammation is a real thing that happens to everyone, and that can cause an influx in weight. That inflammation, when your joints get hurt and hang on. But anyways, when your joints start taking on wear and tear, and your muscles start taking on wear and tear, including ligaments and tendons that are within those joints, you're going to cause a lot of inflammation, and it trying to repair itself over and over and over again every day. It can cause it can definitely cause an influx. It can't catch up, so it just starts getting inflamed, and that can cause water retention, and it can cause all kind of interesting side effects, including weight gain. So, and you gotta remember, it's the same thing, like I said once again in the previous videos. I know for a fact when I went from 210 and then rapidly dropped to 208, I know that 2 pounds lost was not 2 pounds in fat. Most of it was in all honesty, I think it was just a lighter day. You just wake up lighter, and I think it's one of those days. And this 211, it can also do the exact opposite direction, where you have an influx of weight the next day. And I know it's not 3 pounds. I know I didn't put on 3 pounds of fat overnight. It's impossible to do that. So it's just when it comes to this kind of thing, this is the trickiest part about trying to stay on a diet, is the the mind game that it'll play with you if you're checking your weight every day. And you gotta be smart, you gotta be honest with yourself. If you think that checking your weight every morning is going to be a problem when this happens, probably stick to just checking it once or twice a week, so that way you don't get off the system. So because this really can throw people off the rails, man. They'll be sitting there freaking out, it'll ruin their whole day, and you cannot let it ruin your day. You've just got to trust that what you're doing has been working, and it will continue to be working if you keep it up. So with that said, that's exactly what I'm about to go do. I'm about to go and get my second chest, back, and shoulders day in, and we're gonna have a good lift. We're gonna eat good food. We're gonna get our water in. We're gonna get our steps in, and we're gonna continue to drop, and we're gonna continue to maintain strength. That's honestly, in the background, that is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for complete weight loss. What I'm looking for is waking up lighter. If I can wake up a little bit lighter and then go and lift, and I still have the same strength, that is the ultimate goal. Because if I can go from the weight that I was at 215, and then by the time we get down to 200, maybe even a little bit lower, and maintain that strength, that is huge. That means I did a perfect cut, where I did not affect any of the actual muscle that I had put on from the year prior. I kept it all. That would be the goal. Now, is that going to happen? I don't think so. Because just like heavy days and light days, there are also strong and weak days. You wake up stronger and you wake up weaker. There's not much you can do about it. Yeah, I remember, you're putting your body through a lot of rapid damage, right? So you're going in, if you're lifting properly, you are damaging muscle fibers in your body, and it's having to repair itself, and it's doing it over and over and over again. And there's just sometimes your body needs more time to recover. That's why we treat recovery days so important, because stuff like this can happen. So, but with that said, I've got pre-workout rolling through the system at this point, and I'm about to be at the gym. So once we get there, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I think we're starting on incline barbell today. So the first day we did incline dumbbell. Now we're gonna switch to a little bit of incline barbell. Same muscle group, just hitting it in a different way. That's all we're doing. And then same on with every other exercise that we're doing. So I will see y'all in a minute.
Okay, so we are starting off with incline barbell, and if I sound a little bit tired, it's because it's very late at night, and I'm voice recording this right before I go to bed. But anyways, so we're going to get into incline barbell. Not a lot of weight. We are strictly going for controlled, and you guys are going to notice very quickly I'm going to hit a little pet peeves for some of those barbell bencher fellas. So you're going to notice when I go down, guess what? Yeah, I don't touch my chest, and I'm doing it on purpose. The reason I'm doing it on purpose is not to piss you guys off, but it is to kind of keep my chest a little bit more under tension. So what I'm doing is I'm going down, 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 and then you can see me watching. I'm waiting for that bar to get about 1 to 2 inches, and then boom, straight up. And you can see my eyes like staring at the bar. We'll observe that in the next set, of course. But I stayed at this weight for roughly four sets, and I was not going for a certain amount of reps. I was just going until I felt like I couldn't really get another clean rep. But here we go. Now watch my eyes. I'm going to watch, and then boom, going to go up. So I am purposefully doing that. So if you're not a big fan of that, sorry. It's just how I like to perform this exercise. I feel a fantastic stretch. I have got my chest sticked out as far as I can, and it just helps me feel a little bit more tension on my chest. It just keeps the tension on it. So this exercise is pretty fun. This is something that I've recently thrown in that's a little bit not new to me, but I haven't done it in a very long time. The last time I'd done this was probably like 2 years ago, and my form was very, very shit back then. And maybe even a little bit today, who knows? I'm sure there's some form critics out there who are just like, man, this guy sucks. But I got to say, my only thing that I could say about this lift that I could have done is even though I'm wearing wrist wraps, which I do use wraps and knee wraps and belts and all that fun stuff, but with chest, you really want to keep those wrists as straight as possible, and you want to keep your wrists to your elbows, like that your actual forearm. You want to keep that as parallel as possible. You really don't want your wrists inside your elbows. You don't want your elbows, inside of your wrists, if that's even physically possible. That'd be pretty cool if you can do that. But don't do that when you're doing barbell. It's no good. But what I'm talking about with my pet peeve is that my right hand, I notice it's got a slight more of a bend to it than my left hand, and I'm not quite sure how I didn't notice it or how I didn't feel it. But that's definitely, next time I perform this exercise, that's definitely something I'm gonna be focused on, because when you move your wrist, that bar, even though it doesn't look like it, is going to be slightly more tilted than the other. But anywho, that's going to finish up incline press, and we are going to move on to a fun little variant. This was kind of a treat. Someone had left a bench sitting around the cables, and I was like, why not? I haven't done it in a while, so we'll do this too. So instead of a normal cable fly, we're going to lean that bench back a little bit and set those cables up to where it's more, the cables are at a decline. So when you press, you're working a little bit more on upper chest. And if you guys haven't noticed by now, I really like to work on my upper chest. It's not that I don't like working on other parts of the chest. It's just that the upper chest, I feel that you really can't overdevelop it. I mean, it's just a muscle that, as if you develop it properly, it really does give a whole new shape and look to your chest. Upper chest is so underrated. I don't know why people don't do as much of it. Probably because they're a little bit weak in the upper chest, just like I am, and they don't want to do it because they can't move as much weight because chest day, gotta move a bunch of weight. But no, that's not what we're after. We're after form, we're after technique, and we're after feeling. We want to feel everything we're doing. And then on these, with it being a fly and I'm seated, unlike my other variant of cable flies, I do tend to have my elbows a little bit more out and try to actually do a little bit more of a fly motion. But there's something you're going to notice. I think it's on this set, I believe. I'm going to start off with flies, but then you're going to see my hands coming closer, and we're going to finish this press, or this cable fly. We're going to finish it off with a press. So we're going to start off with flies, get our reps in until we can't really get much more. And then eventually we will change it into a press. And I must say, it is very, very beneficial when you think that you don't have any more reps and then you change to this and you just go, holy fuck, that's not, you really start feeling a burn with it. And but so if that's something that, like, if you struggle with cable flies and you feel like you can get more, but you just your body or your chest or your arms or whatever reason is not allowing you, do a couple of flies to where you get to fatigued and then switch it over like this and press. Get a couple little reps out of it. And when you're pressing, I mean, keep it controlled, but at this point your chest is probably already pretty burnt out, so just try to get what you can out of it. And once again, can't preface it enough, just keep good form. But that's actually going to finish up with chest. There's not a lot of chest today. This is more of back emphasis. Second day for upper body is a lot more back. And we're going to do bent over rows. Now, I have a lot that I need to critique on this because I've been doing these this way for a long time. And I'm very upset that I've been doing them this way. The only thing that I'm not happy about is that I kept the, on this first set, I had the seat a little bit too low. And I do like to use the seat as a stable base for my arm. It's just, it's just, for some reason, the way these benches, not seats, benches, sorry, are set up, it's just, I don't know, where I place my hand, it works pretty good. But my other thing is that I'm looking at my lower back. And I really, and you're going to really see it on this after I've raised the bench a little bit. This is supposed to be a row. And when you row, you really want to keep a flat back. It's, in my opinion, I think it's okay to slightly raise up as long as you're still using your lat as you're moving the weight. But it's kind of hard to see from this angle. But my lower back to my, we'll say, gluteus maximus for training purposes, it's a little bit rounded off. And I think on the next time I do this, I'm probably going to lighten the weight a little bit and maybe focus on keeping that lower back a little bit straighter. And these exercises or this particular exercise is really important to keep a pretty straight back. You don't want any injury moving that kind of weight like that. Now we're going to go into a close grip cable row. I really do love these a lot. And I'd say the only thing that I wish I did is on the negative, instead of just letting my arms come down, I kind of wish I'd let the weight pull me forward a little bit to stretch that back a little bit more and then come back and then pull. So it's kind of a weird little lower back to mid back kind of motion. But these are really nice. You can move a lot. You can move a good bit of weight. And still keep pretty good form. My only suggestion is, and you'll see it like I just did, where I will kind of pop my butt off from the bench. It's to keep it's just kind of to get my ass a little bit more on the bench and keep it from rounding off while I'm pulling. Because these, if you're not careful and you're not really keeping yourself stable, it can put your lower back at risk. So just be careful when you do that and try to keep your butt to all the way up to your neck as straight as possible when you're doing this. And I changed up the angle a little bit here, just thinking, this may be a cool little look. Why not? This is me, I'm still kind of playing around with camera angles and stuff, but I don't know, I don't really mind it. It's not bad. Could be better, could be worse, yada yada. But in all honesty, all I'm thinking in this particular exercise is just trying to squeeze and stretch, trying to keep it as equal as possible on both sides, making sure both sides is working as equally as possible, and just trying to get good reps. Simple as that. Now, check it out. We finally recorded some damn straight arm pull downs, and just for a little treat for you guys, I did it in 3 different angles. Why? I don't know. I'm just messing around with angles. Anyways, straight arm pull downs. They are pretty simple, but they can also be kind of complicated when when it's the first time doing them. But the only thing I preface is that when you're not exactly pulling the bar to your waist, you're actually trying to push the bar to your feet. But of course, the way you have the cable set up, it's going to naturally swing out or swing into your waist. But that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to actually push that bar. I'm not trying to pull it. And all I'm trying to do is just feel a nice stretch on my lats, and then go down, a little slight squeeze and stretch. And I'm not really trying to go to failure on these. All I'm doing is just trying to feel a good stretch, trying to burn out my lats as much as I can, and a little bit of my mid back. But the stretch on these are amazing. I absolutely love these. That I do them quite often. As much as I haven't recorded it, I enjoy it. The only thing else is that when the bar comes up, your head goes down. When the bar goes down, your head goes up. And I don't just mean your head, I mean your chest too. You should be sticking that chest out like that when you go down. And you should be getting your shoulders pretty much in line with your head when you go up. You really want to go pretty deep with these. That's going to finish it up for straight arm. This is a fun little thing I do for shoulders. I am a huge fan of side raises. Or lateral raises, side raises, whichever one you prefer. But all we're doing is working on your side delts, which, those are pretty important. If you want a good physique, side delts is something you want developed. Now, what I'm doing is I'm starting with 10 and then going to 15, going to 20, and I'm going up in increments of 5, and these are non-stop. I'm not taking any rest. I cut through so that way you don't see me walking back and forth grabbing weights non-stop. That's the only reason there's cuts. But there is non-stop. And what I'm doing is I'm doing 10 reps, 10 reps, 10 reps, 10 reps. And then once we get up to 25, we are going to take a small break, very small, maybe 30 seconds to a minute, and then we're going to start back at 25 and then work our way down, and just 10 reps, 10 reps, 10 reps on every single one. And I absolutely love doing this. I hate taking breaks in between side delts just because I feel like I get my wind back so soon. And one more little tip for you. When you're pressing these out, you almost want to think that your arms are locked. And if you guys can think about when you walk into a grocery store, those little sliding doors, you want to think about your hands being locked, and you put your two hands together and you spread them out. You're almost trying to force those side doors open, that front door, sliding doors, those sliding doors open with your arms. That's the best way I can describe it. It's a little bit odd, but one more thing, or two more things. First thing is that you're going to notice the front of the dumbbell is going to have a slight angle. That's because I'm treating it like a glass of water. Every time I come up, I'm thinking about pouring water on the ground. I'm lifting my pinky up and pointing my thumb to the ground. And then the last thing is that when I'm holding these dumbbells, I am barely grabbing on with my index finger and my middle finger. I am squeezing the living shit out of my ring finger and my pinky, and I'm letting those two fingers control those dumbbells. And give it a shot. I'm telling you, just do a normal side raise and then do what I just said. Loosen your index finger and your middle finger, and then squeeze your ring finger and your pinky, and then do the side raise, and tell me you don't see a difference. I'll wait. But this is the last rep or last set, and all I'm doing is just repping out with 10s. I know it's just 10s, but at this point, my shoulders are on fire. I am dying. But that'll finish it up, and we are moving over to the posing room. So chest, back, and shoulders. And I gotta say, chest started out a little sluggish. Not gonna lie to you. It was really odd. I wasn't feeling it that well during incline barbell, and you'll kind of see it. I try to almost slow it down as much as I can to kind of feel it a little bit more, but just some days goes like that. And barbell incline works really well with me. I prefer dumbbell, but I'm just doing a different variant. And barbell's got benefits to it, but I just, for whatever reason this morning, just was a little meh. But and then on the cable flies started off a little, well, like I had a pump going, but it was really hard to get a contraction. I could actually feel the contraction. But about that second set, it started feeling a little bit better. And you'll notice, and I'm sure I'll end up doing some voiceovers in the actual film, but just in case I miss it, at the end, I switched from flies to a little bit of presses just because I was burning out too quickly with flies. So instead of just dropping the weight, I figured, well, let's switch it to a press and get a little bit more out of it. So it's just part of that, goes back into that instinctual training. It's just, something that you've got to train to get better at. But I'm a big fan of instinctual training. A guy that has really helped teach me that. I don't know him, but I watch his videos. He's actually one of the first guys that I really learned a lot from. Is Seth Feroci, which I think I'm saying his name right. I love his products, even though I don't really see his products in store very much anymore. I don't know why. They were great products. I loved them. But he's got a mentality that I'd like to. He's got kind of the same mentality that I come into it with training. I would say he's a little bit more aggressive in the gym than I am, but he still controls the weight and he still gets good reps, and he's focused on getting that contraction, feeling every little muscle fiber, and he does different variants. Like, he'll do the same exercise, but it's like 6 different variants of it, and I really like that style of training because you feel it in every little different spot. Anyways, all right, so that should work pretty well. Yeah, okay, good. Well, let's get half naked again for a bunch of people I don't know, but we're gonna do it anyway. Oh, there you go. You happy? Well, me too. All right, now we're on. Put the hat back on. So, like I said, this morning, I woke up 2:11, right? And in the previous video, what did I say? 2:08, right? So, but I did talk about that a little bit in the car, but just in case some people who watch skip past that part and just move on to the lifting, which is something I do as well in any different types of videos. When I'm watching workout videos, I do the same thing. So I'll just re-preface it just in case we are watching this part of the video and not the car talk. I woke up 2:11 this morning, and previous video, like literally just yesterday, I was 2:08, right? And that comes part of it. Your body's gonna influx, it's gonna change. It is a natural thing to do. Do not change course because you gain a couple of pounds overnight. Now, if you gained weight because you went off track, or you didn't get your steps in, or you didn't do your cardio, or you didn't lift that day, well, that's why. But if you followed all those things, if you had your food, you had your water, you did your training, you did your walking, then it's just your body. Either your body's, you got a little bit of extra, you just happen to have a little bit of extra bloat, you're a little bit more gassy, or you had a little bit of extra water, or your body could be inflamed and you're retaining water. There's all kinds of things that can cause that kind of stuff. So don't panic when that happens, because I promise you, in a couple of days, I'll be telling you, oh, I'm back to 2:08, or your body's gonna have a massive drop. That tends to be what my body does. It goes down, 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 and then it spikes, and then like the next week, it just boom. I mean, it just plummets. So it's got its ups and downs. So don't pay attention to the daily number. Just pay attention to the average a week. As long as you're dropping roughly even half a pound. Once you get late into a cut, even half a pound a week, that's more than fine. But aiming for that pound to 2 pounds a week. 2 pounds is a little bit extreme, so be careful, especially if you're like 6 or 7 weeks in and you're still dropping 2 pounds a week. That may be a little fast. It's a little too much. So you do have to, there is a timing thing. You still have to you need a good balance. You want to be dropping, but you don't want to be dropping too much. So just keep that in mind, because for me, my first couple of times doing a cut, that would happen to me. My body would influx, and then I would just go off the rails. I would panic. I would freak out. It would completely ruin my entire day, and it would severely mentally fuck me up for the day, because I'm looking, I'm going, man, I'm doing all this effort, I'm putting in so much work, and my body's not reacting the way I want to. Well, that's, that your body reacts in a lot of ways that you don't want it to. Well, what do? You keep you go on with your day. You got to do the same thing with this. Your body's going to have reactions. It's going to argue with you, it's going to complain with you, but it'll eventually reward you, all right? So just give it time, all right? So let's check out the chest. Chest had a okay pump. Like I said, it was okay. But let's do Oh, not bad. All right. Let's get a little bit closer. Oh, I hope that one's popping up on camera. That's the best my right side's looked in a while. That was dope. All right, let's try this dumbass thing again. I really need to look up a video on how to do this, but I'm also a big fan of figuring shit out myself. I love that little game of seeing how bad it is when you do it the first time and then 6 weeks later it looks better. I love that. I'm addicted to that. But let's see. We don't bump the hat off. Maybe I should learn how to vacuum. That'd be cool, right? Yeah. Be interesting. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I still got too much right there to be doing vacuums, but it'd be pretty cool to learn, huh? All right. Light spread. Oh, that looks pretty good. See if there's something I can get in the light. Double by. Ow. I mean, whew. All right, do a front double by, and then probably get out of here. Man, that shit will get you lightheaded, man. Holy fuck. And what I'm doing is, what a lot of people, when they flex, is they pull in a lot of air. Well, when I do that, you get really stiff. You get really, really stiff, and that's an okay thing. But watch. If I pull in a bunch of air, and then flex, and then let it out, it's so much easier to kind of get more things to pop. But you get extremely fucking lightheaded from it. So now, am I saying that's the proper way to do it? No, I've said before that I'm not teaching how to pose. I'm just saying, you hearing me huff and puff while I'm posing, that shit can it'll knock your ass out if you're not careful. So, at least for me. So, but that's pretty much it for today. We're gonna get into we got another leg day coming up tomorrow. We got hamstrings and biceps, and honestly, that last video, that last leg day, man, I had a really good leg day. I had a good upper body day today too. But just keep in mind, there are some days that you're gonna be weaker, you're gonna be stronger, you're gonna be heavier, and you're gonna be lighter. Some days you're just not gonna wanna feel like it and you gotta go do it. And then some days, like, you wake up and you just can't fucking wait to get there. You're just amped up. And okay, so the last part of this is just me jibber jabbering. It's nothing exciting. One thing I wanted to mention, if you guys wanted to see proof of me going from 215 to 210, like when I weigh in, just let me know. I can take pictures. I can post it on here. I can also post like when I'm eating throughout the day. But just let me know. All right. But I'll see you guys later. If you want that, let me know.